So real quick, for those of you guys that don't know me, we do have a couple of new people on, which is really awesome. I'm really excited that you guys hopped on board to listen to us tonight, and hopefully we will be able to answer some questions and help you guys out on some struggles that you have. But my name is Nan, and I started Team Determination, and basically we're just a small, very growing and expanding team of Team Courage, and which is incredible. It's awesome. I wouldn't be here without every single one of you guys. So I want you guys to know that, and that you are all very well appreciated, and this is just as much your team as it is mine. So, post to the team page, shout out each other. You guys all do a really good job at encouraging one another, liking each other on social media, all that kind of good stuff. So just a couple of quick announcements. We are starting, of course, on Monday, our 30-day In It group. So continue to invite. My plan is I'm still going to be following up through this week. And then what I plan on doing is pretty much if they haven't jumped in probably by, maybe Monday and ordered, I will wait and either put them into our 7-day refocus group starting in June. And then, as always, it's optional to run a 5-day clean eating the first the first Monday of every single month. I know me personally, I'm not going to be running one again this month, but it would be awesome if a couple people wanted to join up. We absolutely have all the tools. We have some really good meal plans. It doesn't even have to be a clean eating. It can be anywhere from, think of who you want to attract. So if you're attracting moms, like organizational things, maybe something for the summer, some tips for the summer, some for kids. I know Christine mentioned like kids lunches and meals, quick options for at the pool, those kinds of things. So be thinking about that. And if a couple people want to join up and put some new content together, that's always exciting as well, to reach out to new people and offer that to them. So know that's a great place to really get people into the groups, to really just see, build a solid foundation with people and really just see what these groups are about without really investing any money at all. And you get to really know them. And then from there, you can invite them into the 7-day group, get them interested in Shakeology, trying Beachbody on Demand. And then from the 7-day group, hopefully we can, they're ready to jump and be all in and build a strong foundation, and do the 30-day group with us. So that's kind of the guidelines that we use every single month. And then, of course, our Fitspiration with Determination group is kind of our graduate group, but it's available to anybody. So if you have somebody that maybe you just want to give them a group for accountability, they're not invested in anything, put them in there and let them, try the group out. That's, I feel like, is starting to really pick up a little bit. I'm trying to post more recipes in there. So if anybody ever wants to post anything, go ahead and start sharing it. Share, your tips, share some recipes, something that's working for you, meal planning, really keep that going as well. So, from there, I just wanted to, I know those of you guys that are going to Summit, Chad and Summer have posted the Big Bang link to go on Friday night. So make sure you guys get your tickets to that, as well as the training with Scott Mann. And then make sure you're also in both of our groups, the Summit group and then the Crazy Nuts, Determined Nuts Go to Summit or something. I forget what it's called. But make sure that you guys are in both of those. So, and then I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some tips that from the very beginning, I was able to pull out some notes from some leadership calls, some national wake-up calls from when I first signed up as a coach. One thing that I know when I signed up as a coach, I didn't know where to start. So I basically just started to plug into these webinars, plug in every single Tuesday night with Summer, and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know why I was on there because I was a discount coach. So I just plugged in there because that's, what I thought was, okay, well, I can do this. I'll just listen and see what happens. So I did. The first few ones, I'm not going to lie, I was like, this is crazy. This girl's crazy. I am not her. Like, she's so much better than me. Like, I don't even know how, no, like, she's, good for her type thing, So I can totally relate, like, you know, but I'll tell you that we are all the same. Like every single one of us, we are no different. So it's really just about what I have found that it is about is really just finding something that like ignites your fire and digging into your why. I know, as crazy as it sounds, like when I started, like I'm telling you, I was like, I don't know. I'm just doing this because I like to work out. I like Shakeology. I want the discount. My husband's on board with it, you know, and it started to just slowly grow from there. I started to see an income where I was able to start paying for, you know, fun things for my family, date nights, tumbling classes, little things like that. And now it's grown into, I pretty much this week we received our biggest paycheck, and I, like, my husband was amazed. He's like 100% on board. And last week we discussed a few things, and my why even grew bigger last week. So every single time when we sit down, we talk about where we're at, what's going on. You know, we're looking at buying a house and moving within the next year, and thinking about what we're going to do with our kids at school, and that kind of stuff. And, you know, it really just, like, I was like, man, and I woke up on that Monday and I reached out to my list. I invited 40 people in one day, because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I got to plug in, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it. You know, 40 people might sound like a lot of people, but most of these people were people that I've invited every single month from the very beginning. Some of them, you know, I went back, I followed up with them. I followed up again, you know. And I think that's the most important thing. You have to be showing them that this is simple, that it does work, and that they can do it, and that we do love them. Because if we don't show people these things, they're not going to follow us. You know, they're not going to be, if we're not here in 1 to 3 years from now or 5 years from now, they're never going to join us. So I think that's definitely the key when we're inviting people, you know. And now I know Katie has mentioned it. I know some of you guys are seeing the effects of being consistent every single day in your social media. I know Christy is seeing it, that people start to come to you and say, hey, what are you doing? You know, and they want to know. And the thing is you really want to keep them curious. For me, one thing I started to do, I really started not necessarily sharing as too much about what workout I'm doing, and I'm just kind of playing around with it. I want to see if it sparks a little bit more curiosity versus like telling people what I'm doing, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm trying that a little bit to see if that changes anything as far as my social media following. So so remember though, like, what are you fighting for? If you're having trouble with this, reach out to me, reach out to your coach. Like, really, that's what's going to pull you through when you don't want to wake up and invite, when you don't want to do your power hour. Because, you know, that's what pulls you through too when you are inviting. When I invite people, like, I go into the invite and I'm like, you know what? They're not going to say no to me. They might say no. They're probably going to say no, but I think they're not going to say no to me. They might say it right now, but in the long run, I'm going to work through this because I fully believe that this person needs this, and I want to wrap my arms around them. I love on them so much when I invite and I put my heart into it that, you know, that they can't. Like, if they come out with a no, then that's okay, because I know their why. I've answered their questions, and, you know, I'm questioning them. I'm trying to see how I can serve them in other ways, and really just consistently be adding value to them. So if they say no, follow up with them, you know, add value in another way. Send them a thank you card, send them a sympathy card if something's going on. Ask them in an ideal world what their day would look like, you know. Just keep asking questions. You know, I reached out to this girl, you know, I posted that, you know, she really scared me. She was doing this 24-hour run, and she ran it, and she failed. She didn't finish it. She ran to, like, I can't even remember what mile she got at, like 6 hours into it, I think. I followed up with her on that Monday, and she was devastated. And I can only imagine. And for me, I was just like, I can only imagine, like, if I couldn't finish a marathon, how I would feel. And I couldn't even imagine, because she had a huge goal ahead of her. So I just let her know that I was there to support her. And when she was ready, I was there to talk to her, you know, not to buy anything. And she consistently had been following my pages, commenting on my posts and everything. So I reached out to her again this week. And you know what? she posted and she messaged me right back tonight. She's like, girl, what are you doing? I am interested. What are you doing? And I let her know. And then she got back to me tonight, and she said, I just want to let you know, I'm really excited. I got to read your message, but I just got done running and I'll get back to you later tonight. You know, and guess what? I wasn't pushy at all. All I did was love on her where she was at. And so they do come around. I promise you guys that. So really, this really just starts about, you know, focusing everything back on you. You know, because they're going to tell you no, but know that people are watching you no matter what. So stay consistent on social media. Stay consistent with your dynamic duo, your business activity tracker, your Power 3, whatever type of, you know, what you're using to be inviting, and make sure that you're doing that every single day. For me, like I said, sometimes I send out 40 invites in a day. Sometimes, you know, that might be, you know, 5 invites every single day. You know, it just kind of depends on my week, you know, as far as how and where I'm at, how I do it. So, and then just believe in yourself, and people, you know that you're going to attract people that, like, when you're sharing on social media, think about who you're sending that message to when you're posting that. Keep that funnel full, and always be building new relationships. So, and really try just sharing different things on your social media, because that also gets different people liking and commenting on different things. So it doesn't have to be anything Beachbody related or fitness related or nutrition related or anything like that. And then, so have a social media plan. I know that a couple weeks ago I shared a calendar, like, Jessica Rodriguez, she did a webinar. If you haven't listened to it, search for it in our team page, and it was about making a social media plan for the month. It's an excellent webinar. So, but basically things just like, decide what your message is that you need to communicate that week. Are you going to invite to, you know, a 7-day group? Are you going to invite to a clean eating group, or, you know, an coaching opportunity call, you know, or a challenge group? So if you're going to invite to a challenge group, maybe share, you know, like before and after, different accountability things, how your group has pushed you from, you know, pushing play, when you were struggling, that kind of stuff, different recipes, you're creating this, and how you overcame that obstacle. And don't worry if nobody's liking it. If there's just crickets, just continue to push through that, because it's normal. It happens to all of us. You know, and post more of those things of what you like, because the more that you post of the things that you like, those people you're going to attract that. And then your hook is, at the end of the week, hook is what you're doing. So if it's inviting to a challenge group, you know, like, I'm looking for 5 people to join me. That's that type of a thing, you know. So you always got to have that. You can't just be sharing and never hook, never invite, because people don't know that you have anything for them to even join. And that's really important as well. And know too that you might only get one person, and that's completely okay. That's one life that you changed. But, you know, a few months down the road, people are going to see that, and they're going to start following your pages, because they're like, oh, what is she doing? You know, so just know that that's just, you're putting out those, just sharing it. Your story is another way. So, and if, you know, if people say no to you, be like, hey, no problem, no pressure. Do you mind if I check back in with you in a month or two? Keep building that relationship. You can also say, like, hey girl, I hope I'm not bugging you. I just wanted to be sure, to follow up with you as your coach. We're starting another challenge group, and I don't want to leave you out by mistake. Really simple, short, simple, to the point, you know. The follow-up never, ever ends. Keep them on your list and keep inviting. You know, I think you guys, like, for me at first I was like, well, I have to invite these people every month. It doesn't have to be every month, but definitely every couple of months. You know, if they say no to a 30-day group, I'm going to invite them to my 7-day group and see if they'll jump in, you know, with something small, where we can really build a strong foundation, and then go into the 30-day group from there. So another thing I wanted to share with you guys was, say, you know, I think it's really important for all of us to have momentum goals, just like we share that in our challenge groups. We definitely want to have momentum goals with this business, such as like Success Club every single month, or how many coaches you want to add on. For me, like my goals are like about 2 to 3 coaches in Success Club 10. You know, because ultimately I want to hit Success Club 5, so I'm going to reach high and go for Success Club 10 every month. Now that might mean that some of the points go to my husband's account, whatever, vice versa. But that's my goal, because then I know I'm consistently moving my business forward every single month. And it's important. If you don't reach that goal, whatever your goal may be, you know, if it's just to get the discount, that's okay. You know, if you want to pay off your Shakeology, we definitely have the recipe for that. You know, but know that if you don't reach that goal, we have to constantly be like reassessing, what did we do wrong? How can we change this? You know, and figure out what we can do differently. Maybe we didn't invite every single day this month, you know, or we weren't consistent with our social media. You know, those are the little things that are really key to really keeping, you know, that funnel full. So that's really all that I have. One other thing was that I heard really long time ago, and this was when I really struggled at posting on social media because I was really worried about what people at work were going to think. And I listened to a national wake-up call, and basically it was just, you know, you plant seeds all the time, stay in people's minds. So, you know, those follow-ups, you know, people are ignoring you, but consistently be, you know, planting seeds, commenting, liking on their pages, planting seeds on your page. But drive those no's crazy. And that is like stuck with me the whole time. It was like, you know what? I don't care that, you know, people probably think I'm crazy, like Beachbody woman or something. I'm going to drive them crazy, and I'm going to show them I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to be successful. And you know what? Looking to now, it's true. Like I now have people at my work that they say to me, they're like, well, you're really successful. You really, you know, they're like, well, you're not really going to be working here much longer, right? Like, I mean, they say comments to me like that, but that's because of how, you know, I've just been sharing that on my social media, and I don't really care if I drive people crazy or not. So think about that, because guess what? You're not going anywhere, and you want to show them that, and those will be the ones that'll come around and they'll start asking you what you're doing. I promise you. So, we wanted to talk. Does anybody have any questions on anything, any of that? Is that Lauren? Are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I have a question. So you keep inviting, even, you know, if they say no, of course. But then do you still do that with the coach invite?
That's a good question. So yes, I do.
Okay.
So as far as the coach invites, it depends. Like, because I will have people too that they kind of, you know, I invite them like usually in the first couple of weeks of a challenge group, or if I know like there's some coaches I definitely want to invite, but right now a lot of them are teachers and it's the end of the year, and I'm like, I'll just wait and they can be invited, you know, next time, or, you know, if they reach out to us or whatever. But yeah, I do, but I don't do it on, you know, if they're really truly not ready, I'm not going to push them, but definitely, you know, I want them in because I want them surrounded by this community, and that's a genuine heart, you know, like it's genuine because I really feel like I want them here, and but I don't bother them every single month necessarily. No. Maybe if I know their Shakeology is coming, and maybe they've mentioned something, or in like when I'm checking in on them weekly, and maybe they mentioned something like that they're really struggling, or they want to buy another program, or they're struggling with something, and then I'm finding out that maybe they need a little bit more on personal development, their why is getting bigger, those kinds of things. And then I'm really going to start inviting again, just be like, hey girl, I know that we talked about it in the past and it just really wasn't a good time. You know, have you given any more thought and consider joining my team? Would you mind just listening to something with me? You know, if they haven't hopped on an opportunity call or anything like that, and just get them on the phone. You know, so, but definitely, you know, and not, you know, I wouldn't say every single month, like Christy said, maybe every couple of months, just depending where they're at. And a lot of times, you know, people will come around kind of on their own too. So.
Okay. Sounds good. That's all.
Anyone else have any other questions? All right, Heather, we're going to open up the floor to you. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Yes, and I apologize in advance if you hear little boys running back and forth and yelling at each other. So what did you want me to talk about, Nian, about getting my husband on board with coaching or?
Yeah, just everything. Heather has a pretty incredible story, so I'm sure she can kind of share. I know in the very beginning, Heather was, she really wanted this, but, Travis wasn't on board, and she struggled with her finances and finding the money to even pay for Shakeology. So we worked through that together. We worked through, just from the very beginning. Heather definitely had a lot of objections, and I think she's a great person if you guys want to kind of to share on how we overcame those together, and how even on social media, and just as far as, you came so far as, your Emerald coach, and you're, inviting, and really, like, your social media is on fire, everything. So.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Grayson, go back in your room. Go in your room. They just got out of the bathtub. I'm sorry. Okay, so I signed on, I guess, I just had my 1-year anniversary here in May, and I kind of had to beg and plead with my husband because I've done other, I guess, selling company type things like this. So I was a little hesitant because I failed miserably every single time. But I wanted to give it a try because I really had a passion for health and fitness, and I thought maybe this would be a good fit for me. So I talked my husband into letting me try it out despite the expenses, and he agreed. And then I wanted to become Emerald really bad, so I told him that I needed to sign him up as a coach and somehow convinced my parents to buy his challenge pack so we could afford to do that. And my dad still hasn't done the program, but it's a work in progress. So we signed Travis up in July, so a couple months after me. But I ended up doing like the Shakeology packets because he wasn't drinking Shakeology. He still wasn't working out regularly. So I would use those for some of our, smaller challenge groups if people wanted to try them. And I just kept doing the programs, plugging in, talking about what I was doing. And here in January, Travis actually started T25. He went through the entire 10-week program, did not miss a day. Started drinking Shakeology regularly. He lost 12 pounds. My parents actually still had the Shakeology bag that they bought like the previous July. But I had invited them to a 7-day group, and I think because of what they saw Travis accomplish through his consistency in drinking Shakeology and working out, they gave it a try. And actually, my dad just signed up as a coach under Travis and is drinking Shakeology every day now. Him and my mom both are. They can tell a huge difference in their overall energy levels, and it's helped them really dial into their nutrition, and they're not snacking on things like they shouldn't be. So it's kind of done a complete 180. I mean, I don't have a huge team to show for it, but the changes in my personal life that have happened because of this and getting my family healthier and having an impact on the people around me has been huge. So
Heather, I know in the beginning though, like how did you overcome, I guess getting Travis on board to even letting you sign up?
Begging and actually I had started posting on my own. I started T25 in that January, and I think I met you through one of those selling groups or whatever. You had got some kid clothes or something off of me, and I just friended you because I had started my own business doing a craft thing. So I had friended you because I was trying to make connections that way, and you had just saw my posts about the workouts I was doing because I was regularly posting on Facebook what I was doing because I wanted to keep myself accountable, and you had invited me to a group. Well, I kept having people reach out to me saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? but I wasn't a coach yet. So I was like, dude, Travis, I'm missing out on opportunities here. So finally, I was able to convince him to give me a try or let me try it out. And he was still really hesitant about it. I mean, we had a pretty heartfelt discussion on our way back to our hometown, I think over Thanksgiving or something. He's like, you're still not really making a lot of money here. He's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to continue doing this. I might have to drop out. And I'm like, you need to give me a chance. I'm like, you're not really even supporting me as far as doing the workouts yourself. I'm like, how are people going to believe in me and trust in what I'm trying to do, and my spouse isn't even supporting me? I mean, he was, but he wasn't all in. And now he's like a completely different person. He woke up this morning. He got up at 6:20 this morning and worked out before work. I'm still in bed, and he's down there working out. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yesterday morning, he just reminded me. He got up this morning getting ready to work out, and it was our rest day. So he went back to bed then. I'm like, what are you doing? So, yeah, he's a completely different person. He's confident now. He can tell a huge difference. He actually goes out and runs. He just started a step challenge at work, and in the last 4 weeks, I think, he started running 4 miles. It's not like a mile. He went out and ran 4 miles. I'm like, who does that?
Wow.
So, yeah, it's crazy. So now he's talking to people at work. He's talking to his boss. He just had his dad do it. Our nephew actually just got size. So it's awesome.
So real quick, because Christy's going to talk a little bit about this new Teamzy. So how did you overcome, though, your obstacle with posting on social media and finding the time for that? I know that was a struggle from you in the beginning.
I just kind of try to fit it in. I'm still not as awesome as you at getting up early. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to get up earlier this summer to see if I can kind of get into a better routine about that. But a lot of my stuff's done at night. And then those mom cracks, if I have, a few minutes here or there, I try posting and just fitting it in that way. And I finally got my planner pad, so I'm trying to have a visual thing in front of me so I can look at it and try to plan my days out a little bit better.
Good.
So, and ironically enough, the video thing doesn't bother me anymore. Summer kind of kicked me in the butt when she called us out in our rooftop group, and I'm okay with it now. It doesn't take me a bazillion tries to get a video down. I just do it, and I'm like, well, it's progress. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm real, and if I stutter and say the incorrect words, it's okay. People will know that I'm just another person. So
exactly. You don't need. Yep, you do not need to be perfect. People want to see that.
Yes.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Heather? Heather's a great one. She really has overcome a ton of obstacles. Basically, we just talked about ways, since finances were kind of an issue, and I know we always get money objections, we talked about ways that we can, have a couple people join her. Sharing the coach, I shared basically the coaching opportunity with her and how we can get some friends to join her right away to get her Shakeology paid for. And I actually have somebody I'm talking to right now about this. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. But she's not on board with anything, but she's interested in what I'm doing, but totally doesn't have the money for it. So, Chris.
Oh, one more thing really quick. As far as the objections, I've gotten a lot better at kind of overcoming those. My cousin, which I know you're well aware of, we've had several discussions about Kelly. She actually just sent me a message this week about, I think I'm going to return the program because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this has got to stop. So I just laid it out there. I'm like, you need to give me 30 to 60 days. Commit to the group, drink your Shakeology, plug in, and see what happens.
Good.
Okay, I'm doing this. I'm like, okay. So I think I've gotten a little bit bolder without trying to come across incorrectly.
Yeah.
And then I really started diving into prayer more. which is something that I've wanted to work on. I've asked if people wanted me to pray for things, and it's amazing the responses I've gotten. And I've actually been able to develop some closer relationships with people by finding out what their needs are, as opposed to, hey, can I sell you this? Like, I'm diving in on a different level. And although sometimes it doesn't transcend into Success Club points right away, the relationships and the trust that I'm developing, I think will eventually come to fruition.
Yes, and I think that's what's important, and that's the same thing with just any level, you know, if it doesn't have to be spiritual, but it, you know, definitely if that's what's important to you, but ask those questions and see how you can continue to support them with recipes or wherever they're struggling, you know, where they're at, support them and always be there. So, Christy, do you want to go ahead and talk? We got about 5.5 minutes, so I hope.
Don't worry, I'll be quick.
Okay.
Because I'm no pro at this Teamzy thing. Been doing it for a week and I like it. So, I guess like last week, I heard a couple people in our rooftop group, and I think Summer even mentioned it on the call. I heard this word Teamzy, like Teamzy here, Teamzy that. And I was like, what is Teamzy? So I Googled it, and it is basically an online bat. And I'm going to actually share my screen with you just to kind of like show you what it is. Everybody gets a 30-day free trial. So if you guys are struggling with your bat, or if you want to try something new, try Teamzy. I've been doing it for a week. It's really cool. So let me share my screen. Desktop. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see that? Yeah? Okay. So this is the dashboard. Now it walks you through setting up everything. So the first thing it tells you to do is to load your contacts. Now me, not really, you know, watching the videos and stuff, I just go right to it. I downloaded all of my Facebook contacts. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just put my list in here, and then I could just add people as you go on. So you get these like little circles. This was me today. So you get the little circles and they're not colored. So you have your list of prospects. This is everybody that I entered through my Facebook contacts. And here you have people right in front of you. You're like, all right, I'm going to contact Ashley. So you click on her name, and then over here you see her name. And then that's when I will log on to Facebook, go to her profile page, add value. If it's someone that I've been talking to and I want to invite them, I invite them on Facebook, and then I just copy and paste the conversation right here. Select type, Facebook message, and then there's email, text, Instagram, phone call, all that. And then if you invited them, you just check that, and then just check here, and then select type. Did you invite them to a free group, challenge group, or business opportunity, a coach? And then you, I can't see it here. Hold on, let's see if okay. And then follow up. The default is 90 days, I believe, depending on your rank, and you rank everybody, but there's videos about that. But I'll do, if I invite them, I will do like, for me, I would do 1 week. Follow up in 1 week, and then in 1 week from now, Ashley's going to pop up. Like, oh my gosh, I have to follow up with her. So, move that back over here. And then it has your dailies. Did you post to social media, personal development, shake, workout? You check all of those, keeps track of them. It has your customers. Like I said, I still need to work on this a little bit. Coaches, and then follow up. It's great for the Emerald. Everything is online. And I really didn't look into promote yet, but I just read, I got an email about it. today, and people were talking about like the promote tab and like how cool it is. So I'm gonna look into that. But basically, that's Teamzy. Really, really quick tutorial. Let's stop share. So yeah, it's just teamzy.com. Fill in your information and try it for a month and see if you like it, and see if it works for you. So far, I love it because it's giving me my work. It's like, okay, these are the people you want to contact today. So, does anybody have a question?
Heather, it's like $30 after the first month.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to, test it out to see if it really does help me, because finding that has been a struggle for me personally. So this is good so far.
I haven't tried it out yet, but I've heard wonderful things from any gem, any personality. So it doesn't have to just be emeralds. Definitely that like it. So I'm definitely going to look into it. I found a system that seems to be working for me, but it would be nice if it just kind of did it for you. I literally this is what I went to doing, you guys. A piece of notebook paper. I have a notebook, literally all my invites, and then on the next is when I follow up with them that week. So it goes invites, and then as I follow up, they just get written down. And so then I put dates right beside people, and that's how I know. And then I go back to like